Good afternoon, everyone, especially to you, Ma'am Jackie. We are from Group 2 Reporters. Me, Estela Icolanag, the first to report, and the second, Miss Lumawas Marianeta, the third, Miss Albius Gladys, and the last but not the least, Miss Villacorta Lady Jane. So our topic is all about the education of Jose P. Rizal. So before we proceed, let us know the learning outcomes. At the completion of this coverage, the student shall be able to A. Explain the history of Rizal law and its important provisions. B. Critically assess the effectiveness of the Rizal course. So Rizal's education. He studies in Manila and he studies in Europe. So the sons of a prosperous landowner, Rizal was educated in Manila and at the University of Madrid. A brilliant medical student, his son committed himself to the reform of Spanish rule in his home country. Though he never advocated the Philippines' independence, but before that, Rizal had early education in Calamba and Binyan. At the age of 3, Rizal learned the alphabet from his mother. At the age of 5, while learning to read and write, Rizal already showed inclinations to be an artist. He outstanded his family and relatives by his pencil drawings and sketches and by his moldings of clay. Outstanded means kanang ginasurprise siya sa iyang family and relatives. At the age of 8, Rizal wrote a Tagalog poem, Sa Aking Mga Kabata, the theme of which revolves on the love of one's language. So early education in Calamba and Binyan. Rizal's parents employed private tutors to give him lessons at home. The first was Maestro Celestino and the second Maestro Lucas Padua. Later, an old man named Leon Monroy, a former classmate of Rizal's father, became his tutor. This teacher lived at the Rizal home and instructed Rizal in Spanish and Latin. Unfortunately, he did not live long. He died 5 months later. After Monroy's death, Rizal's parents decided to send their gifted son to a private school in Binyan. So first day in Binyan School. Pasiano enrolled Rizal to the school of Maestro Justiniano Aquino Cruz. Rizal met the Bali, Pedro Rizal, who was angry at this Bali for making fun of him during his conversation with the teacher. Challenged Pedro to a fight. Rizal, having learned the art of wrestling from his athletic, Tio Manuel defeated the bigger boy. After class, a classmate named Andres Salandanan challenged him to an arm wrestling match. Rizal, having the weaker arm, lost and nearly cracked his head on the sidewalk. So in Binyan, Laguna, he was placed under the tutelage of Justiniano Aquino Cruz, studying Latin and Spanish. So aside from that, he also learned the art of painting under the tutorship of an old painter by the name of Juanco Carrera. From 1869 to 1871, Rizal attended classes under Justiniano Aquino Cruz in a hut, which the Binyan city government preserved as a local historical site. So Rizal is the best student in school. In academic studies, Rizal beat all Binyan boys. He surpassed them all in Spanish, Latin, and other subjects. They were all jealous of his intellectual superiority that they wickedly squealed to the teacher whenever Rizal had a fight outside the school, and even told lies to discredit him before the teacher's eyes. Consequently, the teachers had to punish Rizal. He received many whippings and strokes from the ferule. Ferule means the same as ruler. Rare was the day when he was not stretched on the bench for a whipping or punished with 5 or 6 blows in the open palm. So Rizal, he is the most excellent student. Rizal was an excellent student and had garnered high scholastic records in all subjects. So mao to siya ang ginaselosan siya tungod sa iyang pagka-bright sa klase. And that's all for me.
Okay, let's proceed to education in Manila. Ateneo Municipal de Manila. Bachelor of Arts degree in 1877 at the age of 16. Graduate as one of the 9 students, declare sobresaliente. Continue his education to obtain a degree in land surveying and assessor. Okay, sa panahon kasi ni Rizal, kapag mag-graduate ka ng high school, meron ka ng degree. Okay, so pagdating mo ng college, pipili ka na lang kung anong major ang kukunin mo. Okay, now let's proceed to Ateneo Municipal de Manila. Rizal was a member of Academy of Spanish Literature and the Academy of Natural Sciences. Okay? If you are thinking na ang buhay ba ni Rizal ay bahay school, or aral lang ba ginagawa niya? Of course not. Meron din siyang extracurricular activities sa Ateneo. Like for example, naging active member siya. Naging officer siya ng isang religious society. So, kung tawaging Sodality of Our Lady and Apostleship of Prayer. And sumali din siya and he became a member of an organization na about Spanish literature and about science. Now let's moving on to wrote his first poem, Mi Primera Inspiration, my first inspiration, which was dedicated to his mother on her birthday. So, may mga naisulat or may mga nailimbag si Rizal nung siya ay nag-aral sa Ateneo. So, try to imagine, ang dami niyang naisulat nang siya ay nasa Ateneo na. Ang kauna-unahang tula na naisulat ni Rizal nung siya ay nasa Ateneo ay ang May Primera Inspiration dahil long time na to, birthday ng kanyang nanay. Next, he also through education our motherland reserves, light and the intimate alliance between religion and good education, which show the importance of religion in education. Okay, dito naman in-express ni Rizal yung kahalagahan ng religion sa education. So according kay Rizal, kapag ang education is not centered in God, it cannot be considered true education. So ang religion daw ang nagsiserve as a guide and enrichment para magkaroon ng isang true education.
At the University of Santo Tomas, fortunately Rizal's first romance with its bitter disillusionment did not adversely affect his studies in the University of Santo Tomas. His love for higher education proved to be greater than his love for a pretty girl. After finishing the first year of the course in philosophy and letters 1877 to 1780, he transferred to a medical course. During the year of his studies in the university, which was under the Dominicans' rival education of the Jesuits, he remained loyal to Ateneo, where he continued to participate in extracurricular activities and where he completed the education course in surveying. As a Tomasian, he won more literary laurels, had more romances with girls, and fought against Spanish students. So, Jose Rizal, when he studied at the University of Santo Tomas, Rizal had severe trials in his life, but he's still fighting until Rizal eventually earned land surveyors and assessor's degree from the Ateneo Municipal while taking up philosophy and letters at the University of Santo Tomas. Rizal was unhappy at this Dominican institution of higher learning because the Dominican professors were hostile to him, the Filipino students were racially discriminated against by the Spaniards, the method of instruction was obsolete and repressive. After finishing the fourth year of his medical course, Rizal decided to study in Spain, and he could no longer endure the rampant bigotry, discrimination, and the hostility in the University of Santo Tomas. And then, Jose Rizal, when he studied at university, he wrote the first sections of his novel, No Limit Tangere. So, No Limit Tangere, it is a Latin phrase that means touch me not. In this novel, Jose Rizal described in detail the sufferings of his countrymen under the Spanish rule. So, the idea of writing a novel grew on him and later he decided to write and work hard for No Limit Tangere. He never told anyone about it until it was finished, though some of his companions knew what he was doing. He wrote half of the novel in Madrid, a quarter of it in Paris, and the rest in Germany.
Education in Europe: University of Paris, France, University of Heidelberg, Germany. Earned a second doctorate, inducted as a member of the Berlin Ethnological Society and the Berlin Anthropological Society under the patronage of the famous pathologist Rudolf Virchow. So siguro makapangutana ta, nganong si Rizal mas gipili niya nga naskwela sa Europe and not in the Philippines. So Rizal had a personal reason as well as an altruistic reason for his decision to study abroad. He wanted to become an eye specialist in order to cure her mother from an eye ailment. And he also wanted to study the cultures, laws, and governments of European countries in order to help his countrymen. And without the knowledge of his parents, Rizal traveled to Europe in May 1882. Rizal earned a licentiate in medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid, where he also took courses in philosophy and literature. It was in Madrid that he conceived of writing No Limit Tangere. So si Rizal, wala lang niadto sa Europe para magsulat og letters para sa iyang mga foreigner friends or mga American friends and attend parties. So niadto siya didto to study and eventually campaign for reforms. So his stay exposed him to different cultures and practices, good and bad. Nganong mas gigusto man ni Rizal nga mosadi sa Europe. So this is because Rizal's primary goal in leaving for Europe in 1882 was to complete his education. He had completed a course in ophthalmology at the University of Santo Tomas, so he could perform eye surgery on his cataract-stricken mother. And why did Rizal want to gain further studies in ophthalmology? So he wrote because of love and love for his country. He became an ophthalmologist also because of love, but love for his mother. His mother was turning blind and he desired to give her back her vision, just like he wanted to heal his countrymen from the blindness by the oppressive foreign power, the Spanish friars. And the last one is University of Heidelberg. 25-year-old Rizal completed in 1887 his eye specialization under the renowned Prof. Otto Becker in Heidelberg. Left Heidelberg Apum, alas Flores del Heidelberg, both an evocation and a prayer for the welfare of his native land and the unification of common values between East and West. It should be noted that Rizal did not study at the University of Heidelberg. Rizal probably was just an observer or oidor. He could not have enrolled as a student because he had no official passport to present. This according to Dr. Eufranio Alip, a noted Rizal scholar. Jose Rizal had to go to Germany to further his knowledge, said Ramos. While studying in Germany, Rizal met Pastor Karl Ulmer, who became his friend and welcomed him into his home. It was here where Rizal finished one of his novels.